Hey everyone, how you doing? Is all right. So Rafa and Pochettino have announced their lineups. We'll begin with Tottenham first, and then we'll have a look at Newcastle because, as you can see at the bottom of your graphic, can't really, you can't really argue with Newcastle's lineup. I would have probably liked to see a couple of other changes, but we'll have a look at Spurs first of all. We'll chat about them. I know you can see obviously at the bottom. Rafa out. It's alright, Ali. So we'll look at Spurs lineup. So it was Hugo Lloris switches in goal. Trippier at right back. Sanchez. I'm surprised Sanchez is in. Why isn't Alderweireld not there? Is he injured? Spurs fans, if you're watching, please let me know. Vertonghen. We are Tottenham TV. The lads from the other YouTube channel were saying that he's their best player this year, which surprised me a little bit. Davis is going to be at left back. And then you've got Victor Wanyama. And then you've got Sissoko. Now, Sissoko won't impress. He'll be playing in that centre midfield role. So I'm expecting Musa Sissoko to try and bomb forward. He'll want to impress against, obviously, Uslat, of course. He'll want to. So it's interesting that he's playing in that centre midfield role. It should be interesting. And then the front four. I mean, they've got talent all over, haven't they? If you look at that, you've got Eriksen. You've got Dele Alli. You've got Son, Young-mon. You've got Kane. How do you stop them? Absolutely fantastic lineup. On the bench, they've got Vorm, Rose, Alderweireld, Foyth, Lamela, Lucas, Llorente. So they've got a pretty strong bench to choose from. So it looks like that Pochettino is now going to go with a four at the back, because when they got beat off West Brom last week, they went with a wing-back system. So he's going to go back to what he knows, which is your standard 4-4-2. And then if you look at the tune, I'm surprised in one sense, but I'm not in the other, because I'm surprised he hasn't actually rotated a few more of the lads as well. He's went basically what we would say is full strength, wouldn't you? That's the lineup that you would go with. So you can see at the bottom of your screen what the lineups are, but I'll run you through it anyways. Dubravka in goal. Yedlin at right back. He'll want to impress, of course, against his former side. And then Lascelles and Lejeune. There is some talk on social media saying, fans want Florian Lejeune to go out all guns blazing against Harry Kane. But if we take Harry Kane out of the game, he might miss the World Cup. So we'll cut our nose off just to despite our faces, And then you've got Paul Dummett, who's had a poor couple of games. Paul Dummett, he'll be up against what you would probably think Dele Alli and Son when they switch sides quite a lot. Even Eriksen might drift off to the right as well. Matt Ritchie in that right wing spot. Well, if you call it wing, you might call it a right midfield. And left Kennedy. Now, Kennedy, it's his last game for us, so this might be the last time you ever see him if we don't get him again next year. There is talk that Chelsea have been giving him heads up, try and sink Chelsea by scoring against Spurs tonight and all that, because Spurs have something to play for, which we'll come on in a moment. But it's Kennedy's last game for us, so you'll want to go out with a bang without a shadow of a doubt. Those two midfield, which is Diame and Shelvey. Shelvey obviously been talking with the media, NUFC TV and Sky Sports recently. If you want to see that video, it's on our Facebook page. He's been saying that without Rafa Benitez, there's a buzz amongst the city because of Rafa Benitez. He's brought that. And then Perez in the 10, he's been fantastic the last couple of months as well. And then you've got Dwight Gale up top. Although Dwight Gale has had a very poor season, I can understand why he's going with him ahead of Hoslo, because Gale makes them runs, which leaves space in behind as well. Let's have a quick look at what you guys have been saying on your thoughts in your live chat there. So, Toon, yeah, would have liked to maybe see Perez up top and Marino as a 10 just for one game. That was by Haraborad. Yeah, Mikel Marino's on the bench. I mean, we'll run you through the bench now. So, you've got people who are on the bench, such as Carl Darlow, Javier Manquillo, Haidara, Hayden, who's just won the Community Player of the Year for the Toon, rightly so, because he does a lot of the stuff for the food bank. Jacob Murphy, I thought he was really poor against Watford. Mikel Marino and Hoslo up. When I said Hoslo top, he's the option from the bench. Perez will score tonight. Will, are you going to put that bet on? I know you're too young to bet on. I've just remembered. Issa Jody says Gale was good in the Championship. He's not Premier League worthy. It's a shame, but Lascelles has nearly got out the same amount of goals as him. He does make his runs though. Yeah, Jamal Lascelles almost has the same amount of goals as Dwight York, which is crackers. Jack says I want Ayoze up top. And will we say at the end of the season? Probably not, because Ayoze Perez isn't a number 10. We all know that. He plays as a striker. And when he was prolific for Tenerife, he was playing as an out-and-out striker as well. Come on, the Toon, smiley face. Keep Kane off that score sheet, please. Well, if Kane doesn't score, he'll still claim it. We could do something. We could do something with this game, but I think it'll be 2-0 Spurs. That's by Danny Butler as well. Is the game live on here? Not on this channel, no, because of copyrights in the UK. You can't show Premier League footage as well. It is on NBC, have it in America if you want to obviously try and get a stream from there as well. Just got to be careful what I say about streams and stuff, obviously. I think Hang On to Murphy is exciting and creates competition for the wings. That's by Will. I haven't had with Jacob Murphy. It's like he's come in this year for 12 million and he's been pretty poor. He had that spell for a month in January where he scored against City, but apart from that, I think he's been really, really poor. It's not just him as well. Haribo, I've got money on Newcastle. Brave man. Well, if Newcastle come off, you'll be rich. Peter says right. Can't believe Gill could leave. Clearly too good for us. I see a bit messy in him. Just a make you take. Prez on the other hand doesn't work and only scores 1 touch tap-ins. Overrated as fuck. I would have to disagree with that big time. Sorry, Peter. I'm not in line with that. Like I've got to. Perez, his goals have actually been pretty. You look at his goal against Leicester. That's not a tap in, you know what I mean? There's several I can say. How are the lads? Come on. Richie in the 10 would be nice. Yeah, that would have been nice, Jack. I would say, yeah. Jack, Dele Alli will probably hurt us. Right. As in, well, Shelby's got to be careful as well, because remember the first game of the season? Shelby stood on Dele Alli because Dele Alli was winding him up throughout the match. You just got to be careful that Dele Alli doesn't do that again as well. Got to be optimistic today, like, let we bounce. We'll win 3-2, Nathan. Nathan, if you put that on, you'll get a hell of an odds on that. So overall, I think we'll go back to our standard 4-2-3-1. Rafa's gone with the strongest side possible, which surprised me a little bit. Spurs, on the other hand, they have something to play for. As I was saying earlier on in the video, they now, a couple of weeks ago, they would have sewn up the Champions League, but now they've dropped a little bit, and Chelsea have been winning games. This is massive for Pochettino. I'm surprised he hasn't gone with Alderweireld, mine at the back, because I think he's their best defender, personally. So it's surprising there, and they've got something to play for tonight, whereas we are a little bit on holiday mode. And I was saying, I just didn't want to say that. I want to say a bit of spirit. I'm quite happy going down, getting beat. Obviously, I'm not at the game. We've got Johnny, who's obviously comes on our fan cams, and I think Fordy's trying to get a ticket as well, but we'll get a video of Johnny when he's leaving the ground or wherever. He's doing a video for us tonight somewhere, and I think he's jumping on Tottenham TV's fan cam as well. Prediction-wise, I still think we're going to go down 3-1. I'm sticking to that, unfortunately. I'd love to see Newcastle are going to get something, of course, but I just think Spurs will have too much, especially that front four, and I think we've got to score at least twice to get something from the game as well. But overall, let us know what you think. If you're watching the rerun, of course, in the comments box on the below. I'll be back later on tonight as well. I'm doing a live instant video as well. It'll probably be about 10 to 15 minutes after the full time. So if you're going to come back tonight, by all means, jump on as well. I'll just quickly run you through some of the live chats and then I'll head off. 1-0 to Nyoze with the goal, says Jack. Ali's a dirty diver. 12 million is an absolute waste for Murphy. That's surprising. Shay says, like the formation can feel like a Lascelles goal tonight, hopefully. Where do you watch a match? Well, what stream or what channel? I can't say that on live stream. I can't say that because I work for a broadcasting company. I think we'll lose 3-0, but if you heard it earlier on, there is a hint where you could go. But obviously, it's your discretion. What do you think of the new kit? Joey, I haven't seen the new kit. What, has it just come out the last hour or so? Because I've been checking up on the news today. Peter says, just me who thinks Lejeune is Mel's better than Lascelles. Been disappointing lately. Shelby for England maybe, but Lascelles has no chance now. Too much of liability, makes mistakes of late. No, I think they both should be in at least being that England's training squad. Whether they get called up or not, at least Southgate should be at least looking at those two and just, even if he doesn't play them, then at least he's had them for a week in the training on the training field. And I think that personally, that's what should be done as well. Will says 2-1 Spurs at 2-2. Mr. Jody, does anyone know how much Man United tickets are? Why would you want Man United tickets for? I agree, 3-1 or 1-1. NBC Sports, shush. Joey says footy headlines, it's on there. It's quiet playing, I think. Right, but that's the live chat. Thank you obviously for interacting with us. If you're watching the rerun, let us know your thoughts down there below as well. I'll be back about 10 to 15 minutes after the game, doing a live stream as well if you want to jump on that as well. Or away match, it's a Geordie, it's 30 quid. I'll be back, as I was saying, later on. We've got player ratings, I'll be doing them. I've got the review later on tonight, I'll be doing that as well. It's all me tonight, none of the other presenters are at the game. But we do have Johnny down there as well. He's going to be sending us a video over from the ground later on as well. Score predictions as well, get them in the comments down there below. And obviously, thanks for watching as well. Come on, the two, let's try and get something from the game, then you know.